Hello all, let us begin to the next topic on correlative coding. Coming to the point or coming to this topic which is called as correlative coding, this was actually started by, or this idea got into existence from 1963, and Adam Lender, he worked on this particular correlative coding process, and here what is that he is trying to prove, or what he has proved is that it is possible for us to transmit. So it is possible for us to transmit 2 omega symbols, 2W symbols per second. So what is this 2W symbols per second refers to? It is that how much the channel of bandwidth omega is capable of carrying the symbols per second in time. So now what is that we are trying to concentrate is, let us assume that there are n number of symbols, out of which our main criteria or main concentration is to transmit it the twice the rate that is available, so that is 2 omega symbols per second, and our concentration will be with 0 ISI. We know what is this ISI. ISI is the intersymbol interference, which is a kind of channel corruption which we have seen. So this intersymbol interference is due to the delay in processing the signal, or delay in processing the symbol through the channel. So it is due to the parameters of the channel. So we want to hold on with this 0 ISI, and using this kinds of particular criteria where I don't want to have even a little amount of intersymbol interference in my system, and I want to transmit this particular whole set of symbols, and with the available bandwidth of omega hertz. So we can have, or we can design a filter which is very sharp, so that it can cut off all this 0 ISI. So instead of having this particular infinitely sharp filters, also we are capable of transmitting all the symbols which are available. So Lender, he also tried a technique which is, he called it as with another name as duobinary signaling, and it is also sometimes referred as correlative coding, or it is also referred as partial response signaling. So there are 3 different names for the same technique. One is correlative coding, duobinary signaling, and the other one is partial response signaling. So there are 3 different names which are available for one signal technique. The basic idea behind this particular duobinary technique is to introduce some controlled amount of intersymbol interference into the data stream, rather than trying to eliminate it completely. So we ourselves, we are trying to introduce an ISI, and then we want to transmit that particular data by introducing correlated interference between the pulses. What is this correlated interference? It refers to, I myself or we ourselves are trying to introduce some delay, correlatively introduce some delay between the first data bit transmission and the next data bit transmission. After introducing such kinds of correlated interference between the pulses, and by changing the detection procedure. So what is this detection procedure is? Detection is done at the receiver end. So at the receiver end, we have to modify the detection procedure, so that this extra bits whatever we are trying to insert along with the pulses that are existing can get cancelled out, or can be easily removed out without any interference with the help of the detector. So the detector is going to detect only those symbols which are required for us, and the very next symbol to it is going to be cancelled out. So what is that we are trying to achieve is, we are thereby trying to achieve ideal symbol rate, that is packing of 2 symbols per second per hertz. So this particular ideal symbol rate packing of 2 symbols per second per hertz transmission will be possible only if we rely on introducing a small controlled amount of ISI onto the data stream that we are trying to transmit, and then at the detector end we are trying to cancel out those symbols which are transmitted in between the pulses that we are trying to send. So that's how we can actually do the correlative coding, or we can actually conduct this procedure of duobinary coding in order to have, or in order to recover our original signal. To understand this duobinary signaling, what we will do is, let us consider, or let us get introduced to this duobinary signaling by controlled ISI. Let us look at the model that is available here. So the process is as follows. So let us assume that there is a binary sequence xk. So this binary sequence xk is now getting transmitted, or is transmitted at a rate of r symbols per second. So now I am transmitting this, and over a system which is having an ideal rectangular filter, as well I am having one more filter. Before this reaches to the receiver end here, it has to pass through one more filter, which is a digital filter. So the ideal rectangular spectrum, or whatever the filter that is available here, it will be having a bandwidth of omega, which is going to transmit the bits at a rate of 1 by 2, or which is going to be equal to 1 by 2t hertz. So the rectangular pulse, whatever we are going to get, we are going to have the bandwidth of that pulse as 1 by 2t hertz. And then coming for the digital filter which is available here, so this is very easy, that when we incorporate this digital filter, a 1 digit delay is being present in the system. So you can see that there is a delay block which is available here. So there is a 1 digit delay which is going to be present to each incoming pulse, and the filter adds the value of the previous pulse with the delayed one. So what will be the output of this particular digital filter is, it is nothing but it is going to be your y of k, which is equal to xk, which is the original symbol or original binary symbols that I was trying to transmit, with the delayed version of those symbols because of this delay block which is present here, which is going to be x of k minus 1. So digital filter here gets or incorporates a 1 digit delay, which is very much required. And why is that we are trying to do that is, we want to have a controlled ISI, and then having getting this particular y of k as the output. Once this y of k is passed through the rectangular filter here, ideal rectangular filter, we cannot say that whatever the symbols that are coming out of this rectangular filter are going to be a correct symbol that is present. Instead, what it can happen when it is trying to pass through the channel is, the channel can actually introduce a concept which is the noise. It can add the noise to this particular symbols that we have generated, which is y of k. So at the receiver sampler, we would recover the sequence y of k exactly in the same way that we have generated it, but how? In the absence of noise. Since all systems experience noise contamination, so we shall assume that, or we shall call this received y of k as the estimate of y of k, and let us denote that as yk cap. So whatever this yk we are going to get at the receiver end, let us call this as a estimated value, that is yk cap. Removing the controlled interference with the DO binary decoder yields an estimate of x of k. So now if I am having an estimate of y of k, on the same lines I can say the estimate of x of k can also be found. So I will be getting the value exactly or almost an estimated value that would be decoded at the receiver end whenever I transmit my signal from the transmission end to the receiver at the decoder end. So that's let us look at an example and try to understand how this particular process is going to work. Now let us understand how this DO binary decoding is done. If the binary digit xk, if it is taking two values plus or minus 1, then according to the equations, according to the equation here, what will be the value, the output value that y of k would take is, it is going to take the value as plus 2, 0 and minus 2. So how this particular case is done here is, we are going to consider this xk as 1. Let us assume for the first case xk as 1. So what will be the yk value? 1 plus x of k minus 1. So it can be either of the values. If I take it as plus 1, it is going to be 2, and now if I assume 1 minus 1, it is going to be 0, or it is, let us assume the other case minus 1 and plus 1, which is still 0, and then if I take the other case like plus 1 and minus of minus 1, which will be still 2, or minus 1 which will be equal to minus 2. So for all these combinations which is available here, if we assume what will be the value of the output levels, that possible values that y of k can hold is, it is plus 2, 0 and minus 2. So the DO binary code here, it is going to result into 3-level output. So I am going to have a 3-level output. So for M array transmission, according to this partial response signaling results, so it is going to take 2m minus 1. So if we 2m minus 1 output levels, which means what? It is going to have so many number of output levels that are going to be present at the output. So the decoding procedure involves the inverse of the coding procedure, like subtracting the xk minus 1 decision from the yk digit. So now instead of going for decoding process here, so let us look at how the whole process of this DO binary signaling is conducted. So let us assume the example here. So using our previous expression, yk is equal to xk plus x of k minus 1. So the sequence here of xk which is given is 0 0 1 0 1 1. So this sequence 0 0 1 0 1 1 is considered. Consider the first bit of the sequence to be a startup digit, not part of the data. One rule that we have to follow here is xk is equal to, if it is 0, we are going to take the value of binary amplitude as minus 1. If xk is 1, I am going to take the value of the binary value as binary amplitude as plus 1. So that is the rule that we have to follow here. With this rule, now let us demonstrate the DO binary coding as well as the decoding for the given x of k sequence. So now how do we go ahead with is, we got the binary amplitudes now, which is going to be minus 1 for 0 and plus 1 for 1. So now with that background, they have written here bipolar values or bipolar amplitudes of x of k. Wherever 0 is there, it is represented as minus 1, and wherever 1 is there, it is represented as plus 1. Then we got the binary bipolar amplitudes. Now with the coding rule we know that y of k would be equal to x of k plus x of minus 1. So how do we get the delayed responses? We have to start from the second bit. So from the second bit here, which is minus 1, I am going to take the value here for the minus 1. So now let me demonstrate here. So it is minus 1 plus plus 1 minus 1. So delayed, this is, if I take this as my xk value, then this minus 1 is going to act as a delayed value for me, which is xk minus 1. Likewise, minus 1 from here will be the delayed value. So plus 1 from here will be the delayed value. So if I add these two things, the value that I am going to get here is minus 2, and here it is plus 1 minus 1, it is 0, minus 1 and minus 1, it is 0. Then on the same lines we have to keep shifting or taking the delayed values, which will give us the coded value as minus 2, 0, 0, 0, 2 and 0. So with this particular rule, what we can do is, we have a decoding decision rule which is present for us. What does it tell is, whenever we estimate the value, how do we estimate actually? I can see that there are only 3 possible values that our y of k can take, which is 2, 0 and minus 2. So whenever y of k is equal to 2, we decide that x of k value should be equal to plus 1, and whenever y of k is equal to minus 2, we decide that the x of k value should be equal to minus 1, or it is binary 0. And if y of k is 0, we decide that the opposite of the previous decision. So whatever the previous value that we have taken, we take that as the case. Now for this values that we have got as the minus 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, we know that when it will be minus 2, it will be minus 2 whenever it is the x of k value is minus 1. So we have written the x of k value here as minus 1 and the binary sequence as 0. And when it will be 0, the previous sequence is here is minus 1. I will take the opposite previous decision, which is plus 1, and I will this plus 1, for plus 1 we know we are going to represent it using the binary value as 1. On the same lines, we have the next 0 which is dependent on the previous decision. Here it is plus 1, we will get the next value as minus 1, and again we have one more 0, the previous value here is minus 1, the next decision will be plus 1, and then coming for the next value, which is 2, if it is 2, the value of xk cap should be what? It should be plus 1, and now it is plus 1. So then the last bit, it is again 0, we know we have to consider the previous decision but with an opposite sign, which is minus 1. Then plus 1 we are representing it as 1, minus 1 we are representing it as zeros. So that is how we are trying to decode the binary sequence. We have done both the things, one is duobinary coding as well as decoding of the binary sequence. So that's how we can follow with this basic rules the decoding procedures. The intersymbol interference here is removed with the usage of the ideal rectangular filter, but we cannot actually remove the AWGN noise, that is additive white Gaussian noise. Additive refers to it increases the amplitude of the original signal, or it sits upon the amplitude of the noise signal and keeps on increasing the amplitude of the noise. So this noise reduction is not possible with the help of duobinary method. So we go with the next method, which is duobinary coding with pre-coding process. So how this pre-coding process is done is, we are going to consider a digital filter now, which will be having the delayed version of the sequence that is already pre-coded value, which is going to be delayed. and then modulo 2 added with the original x of k sequence, which we are going to now take it as y of k. So what will be my omega k here or wk here is equal to x of k plus w of k minus 1. So we are trying to pre-code the original input signal in order to remove that amplitude or the noise amplitude which is keep on getting added. We want to remove that. So for that particular process we are trying to add the pre-coded value at the very beginning of the sequence, and this will be then added with the wk minus 1 gets added with the wk, which will actually remove the component of this wk minus 1, which will tell us the amplitude is going to be twice that of wk minus 1, that is yk will be equal to x of k plus 2 times wk minus 1. So that will actually remove from at the ideal rectangular filter itself. So we want to remove that particular thing. So how do we do that is with the modulo 2 we take the elements here as already shown in the block diagram. Rest all the components in the block remains the same. We will have the ideal rectangular filter, we will also have the sampler, and then we will get the decoded estimated signal x cap of k. So now we are trying to design for wk, which is xk plus or minus modulo 2 added with w of k minus 1. So we know what is the process that we have in modulo 2 addition. If it is 0 and 0, it is 0, and for the same combination of binary sequence, when same combination of binary digits are added, we are going to get the output as 0, but when 0 and 1 or 1 and 0 or modulo 2 added, we are going to get the value as 1. So that is the XOR operation, or that is the modulo 2 operation which we are going to follow here. So keeping in mind the earlier duobinary coding process, we are now trying to illustrate the same example but with the pre-coded sequence here. So how do we do that is, we are trying to illustrate the duobinary coding and decoding rules when using the differential pre-coded equation, which is wk is equal to xk plus or minus XORed with w of k minus 1. Assume that the same sequence xk, all the rules that is assumed in the previous example, we are going to assume the same rules. So the binary digit sequence here is given as 0 0 1 0 1 1 0, and the pre-coded sequence, how do we get this pre-coded sequences? Let us assume the first sequence of wk as 0. This 0 I am going to modulo to add with the next sequence, which is 0 here in the given original signal. So 0 and 0, we know that the output is 0. On the same lines, for your better understanding, so 0 0 1 0. So the pre-coded sequence, I am assuming the first value as 0, and then this will be modulo 2 added with or XORed with 0. The output of this is going to be 0. The output is 0 now. I am XORing it with the x of k value. I am going to get the value here as 0 and 1 XORed, we will be getting the value as 1. Now 1 XORed again with 0 will give you the value as 1. So that continues here, and we will be getting this pre-coded sequence. Then for this pre-coded sequence, I am going to give the binary amplitude values or the sequence value, which is for 0 it will be minus 1 and for 1 it will be plus 1. So then we are now moving on to the coding rule, that what does our coding rule does already is, we are going to consider the wk value and the delayed version of wk1. So here it is, let us analyze the very first sequence. The first sequence is minus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So then what is the value that I will be getting? This is my wk. To this wk I have to add wk minus 1. So the wk minus 1 is delayed value of that, which is minus 1. the value will be here -2, and then for the next sequence it is 1 and -1, which will be 0. For the next sequence it is +1 and +1, which will be 2. So likewise we are going to get the coded value or the coded slots or the coded bits for y of k. But the decoding decision rule here is slightly different. That is, for y of k, when it takes +2 or -2, we are going to give or assign the estimated value as 0, and if y of k is going to be 0, we are going to estimate the value of x of k as binary 1. So according to the coding rule, we got the values of y of k as +2, 0, 2, and then 0, 0, 2, 0. So for not +2, okay, +2, 0, it is -2, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 0. So according to the decision rules that we have noted here, whether it is plus or -2, it should be binary decoded as 0. So according to that, we are going to get the binary sequence as 0, and for 0 it is going to take up the value as 1, and for 2 it is 0, then 1, again for 0 it is 1, and for 2 it is 0, for 0 it is going to be 1, which is 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. The major advantage of having such kind of pre-coding is that this particular differential pre-coding enables us to decode yk cap signal, that is estimated value of yk sequence, by making a decision on each received sample uniquely or singly, without restoring to prior decisions that could have been already done in error. And then one more thing that we have to notice, or the major advantage that we have here, is that in the event of a digit error due to noise, such an error does not propagate to other digit. So if there is some error which is already existing, that should not tamper the error to the next propagating digits. So that is taken care in case of the pre-coding signals. That is where we are trying to actually pre-code it and then differentiate the pre-coded values, that is the differential pre-coded values, and add it and then transmit it. So what we have noticed here is that the first bit is the differential pre-coded binary sequence. In the binary sequence, wk is an arbitrary choice. So and then if the startup bit is wk had to be chosen to be a binary 1 instead of binary 0, the decoded results would have been the same. So we have assumed in the previous step that we are going to start with the wk value as the pre-coded value as 0. If I choose it to be 1, then the answer would also be same, or the result would also have been same. You can also look into how the Dewey binary equivalent transfer function is given. So for a digital filter, how that can be designed using the transfer function. As well, we can also compare the binary signals with the Dewey binary signaling mechanism in order to get the exact analysis of the Dewey binary transfer functions and the pulse shape that is available, that is for either a cosine filter or an impulse response of the cosine filter. And then we are having a polybinary signaling. Polybinary signaling is a type of Dewey binary signaling which can be extended to more than 3 digits or levels, resulting in greater bandwidth efficiency. Such systems are called as polybinary systems, and we are trying to have or trying to transmit more number of such kind of signals. We can definitely have a polybinary signaling mechanism which we can implement as y of k will be equal to x of k plus or minus y of k minus 1, k minus 2, k minus 3, and so on. So this depends upon how many systems or how many messages that you want to transmit. and this particular transmission from binary to polybinary takes place only in 2 steps. In just 2 steps we can achieve this particular polybinary signaling. Hope you enjoyed learning. Thank you.